Welcome back to Hacking Patina. I'm your host, Sean. We're finally back in the shop looking over this DJ-3A. We had some life getting our way for a few weeks, so we had to address some issues. But we're back now, we're getting on this. But you know what? I don't know if you saw, but this girl, as I was scanning my peepers on her, coming in and out of here, grabbing saws, grabbing tiling gear, grabbing all kinds of stuff, you know, and I watch them, I look, I noticed, and I don't know if you could see on the video, she's got a little spread to the front end there. Her toes aren't quite aligned right. We're gonna be going through a quick little tutorial here of how to get these pretty darn close to lined up. So she's not doing this going down the road anymore. You know, she's more closed up, she's more ladylike, let's say. Anyway, let's get into this, wrap some string around her, see if we can align this up. So how are we gonna get this lined up in the garage? I don't have the expensive equipment to do alignments, and I'm for sure too cheap to go take it to the shop and go get a $100 alignment on this old girl. So I'm gonna get it close enough with this technique, right? We're gonna take this, we're gonna wrap it around all four tires, and we're gonna see where the front of the front tire or the rear of the front tire doesn't touch. And we're gonna fine tune that a little bit with the steering tie rods and bring that quirky toe out, right back in. Now this girl will be kind of pretty darn close. So when I tore apart this raw steering box to service it, through some experience of previous rebuilds, I centered up my worm drive that runs from the steering column here, the worm drive, and the sector shaft, which runs this way, right? Rotates this pitman arm here. So I made a center line on my housing, and I made a white line to center my sector shaft or my pitman arm with that housing, right? So when I move the steering, right, it's going to change where my center mark is. So as I rotate the steering around, you're going to see that center mark go off. So I know I am centered when when the housing line and the pitman arm or sector shaft line up. So now I'm centered. The steering is centered in the Ross box housing, right, with the worm gear sector shaft here. So I'm centered. That's how I get the straight. Now I'm going to show you how we can align, get really darn close to a straight alignment. So I'm going to first just center this off the hitch on the back. Then we'll get it wrapped around. So let's just tie it off. Just give it a quick tie off here. Good enough. Okay, now we're going to come around each tire at the center your hub best you can. Center your hub best you can. Don't get anything in the way of the four tires. Make sure the string is clear of everything. All obstacles. Okay, in the center of your hub. Center of your rear hub. Keep it tight. Lock it off. Good enough. Okay, so now what we're looking at is we have to make the assumption that our rear is straight, okay? We're assuming the rear axle is straight on the vehicle. So as you can see, the string is touching front and back on this rear. Well, what do we see here on this front? We know that our Ross box, our sector shaft, and our worm gear are centered by the marks that we put on there. Well, what are we seeing here? We're seeing space here and touching here. Now, if we take this wheel and we adjust the tie rod and pull that in, we're going to have touch here and we'll just have touch here. So we won't have this gap. So this is already showing us, right, by this string, that we are toed out on that wheel. Let's go over to this other wheel. Same thing happening here. The front's touching, but we got a nice space, you know, here on this back. So this wheel is also, and it's obvious, right, that it too is toed out. So we'll adjust that tie rod as well. So that gives you an idea of just a quick, easy way of aligning up these old girls like this on the cheap, on the low. So let's dig into this. Let's adjust these tie rods. Now you guys keep an eye on this gap as I adjust this tie rod. Watch it close. We're going to have this string touch, same as that string. See it getting closer? See this wheel pulling in? See that toe pulling in? We're just about there on this side. Boom. Perfect little kiss. Okay? She's just touching there to here. All right? We don't want it to overdo it and then the string is like this. Just want it to touch. Nice. So I'm going to just snug this up, then we'll come back and torque it. All right, we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to close the gap up by adjusting this tie rod now. Just lining back up. Just kiss it. Boom, kissed. Just a kiss. All right, let's tighten these back up. There we go. Now she's not going to squeal going down the road like she was. So, that's the hacking patina way to do an alignment. I do not recommend this procedure for anything other than something like this, okay? Go spend the money, get the proper alignment done if you're out there cruising in your daily driver. This isn't the method for that. Let's go take her out for a little scoot. See how that toe works. See how she's crawling along there. Oof. Oh yeah. her up, nice. Something up, and I'm not a fabricator, but we'll get it to work. She's driving good, guys. Look at there, no hands. She's driving straight down the road once again. Good enough. I'll take that. She's not squealing the tires. Let's get this back in the garage. I'm getting a headache already from those exhaust fumes. She's burning like a kitty cat. Oopsies. Stalled her out. Sounds like that starter, that OE starter. Nice. Well guys, that's a wrap on getting this girl lined up. I appreciate you watching. Subscribe if you want to see some more of this or some of these other projects come back to life. I got lots of parts that came in. We'll be finishing this thing up pretty darn soon. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.